everyone, welcome back to From the Deck, and today we have a new deck profile, and yes, it is SATELLARKNIGht. Now, believe me, I do enjoy playing new decks. I like some of the new decks, Virtual War, Drytron, Warrock, but my heart somehow is stuck in 2014, 2015, and as such, I played Burn Abyss a lot, and now I have discovered SATELLARKNIGHT more in depth because I already knew the deck a little bit from Duel Links, and I just love this deck. It is so good, and it's basically similar to what Burn Abyss does because you have your Serdante loop in the form of Altair Deneb, which is basically full combo, and then you have like 15 to 20 different control cards to just stop your opponent from doing anything really. So I think that is amazing. I think that's very good, and the extra deck is just a toolbox for you to use at any given point as you wish. So let's go into the deck profile to see how I came up with these ratios and why do I play, what do I play. First of all, we have our SATELLARKNIGHT monster package, which are 3 Deneb, 3 Altair, 3 Unukalahai, 3 Vega, 1 Alzheim, and 1 of, I think it's Vilgis, the name, Sirius. All of these SATELLARKNIGHTs are very crucial into its own way. Even the one-offs are very good. For example, Deneb searches. Altair monster reborns as a SATELLARKNIGHT monster in defense, and it only lets you attack with SATELLARKNIGHT, which is somewhat problematic, but not on this deck really. Unukalahai lets you foolish one SATELLARKNIGHT, Vega special summons one from hand, and same burns your opponent from 1k, which is really good. And Sirius, as you can see right on the screen, shuffles back 5 SATELLARKNIGHT from the graveyard and draw 1 card, which is basically our way to recycle all of our SATELLARKNIGHT's extra and main deck monsters. How do we search this? Because these are only like 14 monsters in our 40 card deck, so we use 2 SATELLARKNIGHT Skybridge. Now Skybridge is an amazing card because it plays around Baylor and Impermanence, which is really good. You cannot negate Gamma or anything else really, but those 2 cards, those 2 power cards that everyone is playing right now, is very important to have the Skybridge. I will play the third if I really have that, but I don't. So Skybridge lets you target 1 SATELLARKNIGHT monster you control and special 1 Terranite from the deck with a different name. And you shuffle the targeted monster back into the deck, so it also prevents destruction. So if your opponent decides to Gamma, you can shuffle it back into the deck and special summon another Stellarknight to avoid the destruction, which is really good. The other problem is that while that monster is on the field, you cannot special summon except Stellarknights, which is not a really hard thing, but it is what it is. Another thing that I forgot is that for those of you who don't know, Stellarknights activate when they are summoned in any way, shape or form, so this is a really good card to summon them. Now we're playing also Stellarknight Alpha. Stellarnova Alpha is our Omni-Negate basically of the deck on activation of spell traps or monster effects, which is really cool. You tribute 1 Stellarknight, so you tribute basically Deneb or any Stellarknight monster that you have on this main deck, and you draw 1 card, which is really cool. It also has a couple of new interactions with extra deck monsters, but we want to tribute most of the time or main deck monsters. And just to play 21 power cards, we're playing 2 Pot of Desires. Most people hate this, but I like this ratio because you don't really want to draw a Pot of Desires on this deck. You have plenty ways of searching your monsters, so Pot of Desires is not really good considering that you have to have Stellarknight monsters in your deck. Reinforcement of the army, of course, Monster Reborn to summon back your Stellarknights, which is a combo piece basically. And to control our opponent, triple Impermanence, triple Dynamiscus, triple Olinoides, triple Canadia, triple IDP, and triple Solemn Judgment. For our extra, we're playing 2 SATELLARKNIGHT Constellar Diamond. Stellarknight Constellar Diamond is a very good card. It's basically an auto win against Virtual War, because Virtual War needs to send a Virtual War card from the deck to the graveyard, and this card doesn't let any player send cards from the deck to the graveyard. Also, a card that returns from the graveyard to the hand is banished, which is really good. Stellarknight Constellar Diamond is an auto win against Virtual War basically. How do you get to this? Because you don't have level 5s basically. You get to this via Dark Tellarite Bathlimios, which basically lets you detach one, discard one Stellarknight, and special summon one Stellarknight monster from your extra deck over it, basically. You can get into Deltaros. Deltaros, the important part of Deltaros is not a destruction really, but when it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special one Stellarknight from the hand or deck, which really combines really well with our Stellar Nova Alpha. We also have Tri-Brigade, which is a really powerful card turn 5 and onward, because Tri-Brigade lets you unsummon, return all of the other cards on the field, except itself obviously, which is basically what Zeus does, but to the hand. And you can detach one Exceed material and just loop your opponent for one, which is really cool. And when it's sent to the graveyard, you can reborn one Stellarknight, which is really powerful, also combines very well with Stellar Nova Alpha. As our note, there are monsters from the extra deck. We have our Utopia package. When you don't have the restriction from Altar, you can just summon Utopian and Big Punch over Dragoon, for example. You can also have Time Thief Redoer, a Bagus, Cat Dweller. Totally awesome because we are playing 9 Diazoic Traps, is really powerful, and 1 Zeus. You can play the second Zeus over the Totally Awesome, but it's up to you basically. On our side deck, we are playing 1 Tornado Dragon just to pop any spell trap that we may not want to face. Nibiru, Game Kill, Phantasme because it's really good against Tri-Brigade. We're playing Pancratops, we're playing Double Lancia against Crossout Designator, HFD, Evenly Match, and Red Root, but pretty basic, pretty standard side deck. Well folks, that is the deck. I think it is very powerful, I think it is very good, and I think you should play it if you want a fun deck that really abuses of the rank 4 pool, but also has its own rank 4s that do stuff against the actual meta. And even if you don't see why this deck is powerful against some of the meta decks, let me tell you that controlling your opponent with 15 different back row is really powerful. And on this deck, you don't even need to play in turn 1 if you don't have a combo. You can just set 3 cards and pass on that, and your opponent has to play to your back row. If they draw HFD, they draw HFD. So. But I think you should play this deck if you want to play something fun, something very different, and something to bring you back the memoria from old Yu-Gi-Oh! If you're one of those people that anxiously want to play 2014-2015 meta decks. Thank you very much for coming in, and we see you on the next one. Peace.